This frame is quite intriguing and deserves closer analysis. At first glance, the photo shows a dense forest captured under night vision, giving it a green tint that often distorts details and makes identification difficult. In the center right of the shot, there appears to be a large humanoid figure crouched low to the ground. Its posture and bulk suggest something more substantial than just a shadow or tree stump. The shape of the head and shoulders stands out against the vertical lines of the trees, creating the impression of a solid form. However, before rushing to conclusions, we must consider natural explanations. Night vision amplifies light and shadows, often turning foliage, logs, or oddly shaped stumps into seemingly humanoid silhouettes. Looking closely, the surrounding vegetation and uneven terrain could be playing tricks on the eye, creating pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar forms in random shapes. The object could be a large rock or stump with overgrowth, positioned just right to mimic a crouching figure. Still, the proportions are compelling. The figure appears too large and too defined to be dismissed outright. The context, deep woods, nighttime, isolated environment, adds to the plausibility of a creature like Bigfoot moving unnoticed. While we cannot say with certainty this image proves anything, it remains a fascinating piece of potential evidence that highlights why Bigfoot research continues to spark debate. The line between reality and illusion in such conditions is razor thin. In this video, we'll be exploring an intriguing clip from 2023. The footage, titled Juvenile Bigfoot Trail Cam Footage and Vocalizations, was anonymously uploaded online in December 2023. The identity of the person who recorded it and the location remain unknown. Some online viewers have speculated that the video shows feral children captured by a trail cam. However, we find that explanation unlikely, and we'll outline our reasons during the video analysis that follows the clip.
Um. God. Ah! Ah!
This analysis was previously published in episode Bigfoot Territory 28, Cryptids of Asia. The video is 6 minutes long and is considered one of the most interesting proofs of the existence of cryptids in recent decades. The author and the exact location of the shooting are unknown, but the vegetation is most likely Sumatra or Borneo. The footage shows hairy creatures near an old building in the dark. Sometimes their behavior is similar to a monkey, sometimes to a human. Strange vocalizations are heard. One figure sits near a tree, moving his hand as if entertaining others. At the moment when the creature climbs under the roof and tree, and then jumps from a height of 3.5 meters to all fours, it becomes clear that these are not people. The creatures walk upright, have long hair on their heads, and exhibit movements characteristic of infants, all of which is impossible for known monkeys. Social behavior is also unusual. The creature is clearly playing with others, like a human with a child. The video may show the legendary Orang Pendek of Sumatra, but questions remain. Who recorded the footage? Who makes the sounds, and why the creatures behave so calmly in front of the camera? The video provokes discussions. Are these unknown juvenile cryptids or wild children? A brand new Bigfoot sighting surfaced on September 28th, 2024, less than a week ago. The report comes from a lone hiker who was deep in the forest enjoying his trek. While the exact location hasn't been disclosed, it's known that he was several miles into the wilderness somewhere in the US, surrounded by dense vegetation. Despite the remote setting, the hiker managed to spot and capture the creature on film. The stabilized footage reveals a jet-black, hairy figure moving through the thick undergrowth. Its posture is slightly hunched, with broad shoulders and the classic dome-shaped head often linked to Sasquatch sightings. The hiker suspects it could be a juvenile, given its smaller stature compared to typical reports. The creature advances slowly, either unaware of being watched or deliberately trying to slip away, unnoticed. The video is already being hailed as groundbreaking. On closer inspection, its gait stands out, bipedal and human-like, yet strangely off, almost as if it's slinking through the brush. Since this sighting is so recent, experts haven't had the chance to fully analyze the footage. I'll share updates as soon as more details surface. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. In the presented photo, we see a figure moving away from the camera towards the reservoir. The silhouette immediately attracts attention. A massive build, broad shoulders, and the apparent absence of a pronounced neck. These are classic features that are often mentioned in Bigfoot testimonials. Despite the fact that the image is blurry and taken at a great distance, the figure does not look like a person in ordinary clothes. It is dark and monolithic, with no visible details of clothing or the contours of accessories. It is especially interesting that the figure is walking on water. By the nature of the gait, one can notice a certain heaviness, which also corresponds to the descriptions of a large primate. The steps seem wide, and the body maintains an even vertical position without leaning forward too much, unlike an ordinary person who tends to lean over rough terrain to maintain balance. The lack of distinguishable clothing elements and unusual proportions of the figure speak in favor of the Bigfoot version. There is not a hint of the bright details characteristic of humans in the frame. Reflective stripes, a backpack, or a hat. All this makes the photo a curious specimen to analyze and adds it to the collection of those materials where the question remains. Is this a rare encounter with an unknown creature or another illusion caused by the quality of the shooting? Uploaded on May 11th, 2025, this video originates from the Oklahoma Adventures channel, renowned for its authentic camping adventures and survival cooking in North America's wilderness. In this episode, the team embarks on a tranquil trip to cook, unwind, and document some casual bushcraft along a riverbank. However, the situation takes an unsettling turn as they encounter something much larger and potentially more threatening, hidden nearby.
Aventureros, aquí andamos en los territorios del Patón una vez más. Ya teníamos un buen rato caminando toda la mañana. Nos detuvimos aquí a hacer una comida porque ya hace hambre, salimos muy temprano de la casa y ni el tiempo de almorzar tuvimos. Pero aquí nos vamos a echar un snack aquí en el territorio del Patón. A ver si no viene y nos arrebata
la comida.
La comida.
Vamos a comer.
Vamos, aventureros.
After trekking through rugged terrain, they ultimately pitched their camp beside a river enveloped by lush vegetation and dense underbrush. With the sun shining brightly, the water running steadily, and their spirits lifted, they hurried to gather ingredients and light a small fire for cooking. Corn, wild mushrooms, peppers, and meat were prepared on stones and grills as they shared jokes and relished the fresh outdoor air.
¿Qué pasó, papi? ¿Ya está?
Ya llevo.
Sí, porque ya roja la tripa.
¿Quieres una?
Sí. A salud de ustedes, aventureros. Mmm. Mmm.
As the scent of fire-roasted food permeated the area, the crew started to sense something unusual. The birds that had been chirping loudly earlier abruptly went silent. The silence was striking, and it wasn't just in the absence of sound. There was a change in the atmosphere. One crew member spotted large birds circling overhead, typically a sign of nearby carcasses or predators. Suddenly, a massive figure moved through the woods just beyond their line of sight.
¿Escuchaste?
No, por estar aquí comiendo.
Algo se arrimó acá, para este lado.
Pues con ese olor, ¿cómo no?
Initially, they didn't see it outright, but they heard it. Heavy footsteps and the cracking of branches. Whatever it wasn't small. The sounds originated from the vicinity of their cooking spot and circled around part of their camp. Nervously, they started packing up quickly, eyes searching the trees for any signs of wildlife, concerned that a bear or something even more dangerous had been attracted by the scent of their food.
Tráiganse una bolsita donde tirar la basura. No la dejen aquí tirada.
Especialmente en estos lugares tan fregonzotes. ¿Verdad?
Ya.
Bueno, yo creo que hay que seguir camino, ¿no?
Vámonos.
Que algo se arrimó, no sabemos si fuera un oso o algo, pero un animal muy grande se arrimó para allá, para aquel lado. La goma de la comida.
Trae mucho animalito.
Sí. Bueno.
Vámonos, pues.
As the team shifted to a safer location, one member noticed something unsettling. Large footprints were imprinted in the moist soil nearby. The size and depth of the prints excluded deer or boar. These tracks were bipedal and significantly larger than any human footprint. Further along, they discovered another clue, a rough arch made of sticks pressed into the ground. It appeared unnatural and was not present when they initially arrived.
Solamente escuché.
Algo corrió, quién sabe qué sería. Bueno, vamos.
¿Será un venado o algo?
Quién sabe. Vamos.
Aquí está una huella de algo.
¿Ah?
Aquí está una huella de algo. Desde aquí hasta acá.
Y aquí hay más arcos también, mira. Seca. Mira.
Oh, sí, ese está puesto ahí. ¿No?
Sí, nomás lo atoraron ahí. Mira. Es un patón ese. Está nomás atorado ahí con el otro.
Sí, mira.
Still trying to interpret what they had observed, they debated whether it might be the elusive Peyton, a local nickname for a Bigfoot-like creature thought by some to dwell deep within the woods. The signs aligned, an eerie silence in the forest, circling movements, and sudden bird disappearances. As they headed away from the area, the sounds briefly resumed. Something sizable continued to follow them, never fully seen but unmistakably present.
Mira, parece como una caidita de agua.
Algo así.
Ahí andan los pájaros.
Ya nos escucharon los cuervos. Quiere decir que sí era un patón el que se arrimó, porque ya ves que en ese ratito que
Sí.
estábamos cocinando se escucharon. Bueno,
Se escuchaban los pájaros en los árboles.
The group hurriedly documented the tracks and formations as they moved, opting not to pursue or investigate further. Their goal had been to find food and film, but instead, they stumbled upon a potential encounter with a legend they hadn't anticipated. Whether it was genuinely a cryptid or just a bear under strange circumstances, I'll leave it to you to decide. Shifting our focus outside the United States, we head to one of the most active Bigfoot hotspots, British Columbia, Canada. More specifically, a place called Mission, British Columbia. The footage we're about to look at was originally captured back in 2013, but it's managed to stay mostly unnoticed over the years. Very few people have actually seen it, until now. Take a look. A couple set out for a pleasant day hike, simply enjoying each other's company in the fresh outdoors. As they walked, they eventually reached a spot with a wide open hill that sloped down into a drop, with another rise just beyond it. While standing on the first hill, they noticed something unusual. One of them quickly pulled out a camera and began recording. What they saw was almost unbelievable. Far across the hill appeared to be a figure that looked very much like Bigfoot. The creature moved slowly, seemingly unaware that it was being watched and filmed. Cryptid enthusiasts later noted the unusual length and style of its strides, particularly as it stepped down the slope, movements that didn't quite match those of an ordinary human. The hikers were stunned, running through every possible explanation in their heads. At first, they wondered if it might simply be someone in a costume, but they soon dismissed the idea. This location was far too remote and difficult to reach. Besides, who would go to such lengths just to pull a prank? Not only would there be no real benefit to such an act, but it would also be incredibly risky. In an area where hunters might be present, anyone dressed in a Bigfoot suit could easily be mistaken for the real thing, with deadly consequences. In the end, they couldn't come up with a logical explanation, and neither could most commenters who saw the footage. British Columbia has long been known for mysterious sightings like this one, leading many to believe the hikers may have captured genuine, raw evidence of the world's most legendary cryptid, Bigfoot. In this footage, a group of teenagers notice a strange anomaly on the mountain, and what they find on closer inspection is unsettling. You'll notice a tree swaying unnaturally on the slope. In the regular version of the video, it appears that a tall, powerful creature actually snaps the tree apart. A chilling sight to witness. Now, I'll show you the extended cut of the footage, and you can decide for yourself, is this Bigfoot, or perhaps another mysterious wonder of the world? This next Bigfoot clip surfaced on June the 7th, 2024. A man was out on his own, exploring deep in the woods, when something unusual caught his eye, high up in a tree. Sensing it was out of place, he quickly pulled out his phone and began recording, giving us a clear look at what he had spotted. Through the moss-covered branches and thick vegetation, we catch sight of what appears to be a dark humanoid figure, something perched on a branch in the distance. The clip itself is extremely brief, making it hard to know for certain what we're looking at. Still, viewers quickly noticed one detail. Throughout the entire video, the supposed Bigfoot never moves. Some point to this as classic Bigfoot behavior, remaining perfectly still, blending into the environment with natural camouflage. Others, however, argue it's nothing more than an illusion, perhaps moss, leaves, or part of the tree structure that just happens to resemble a figure. Regardless, the man who captured the footage was clearly shaken. He believed he had stumbled upon a Bigfoot and didn't stick around long enough to investigate further. From the sound of it, he filmed a quick clip and then left the area as fast as he could, not wanting to risk an encounter. As many researchers suggest, Bigfoot's survival may rely heavily on camouflage. Reports often describe it as having dark, mottled hair that blends seamlessly with tree bark, shadows, and undergrowth, making it extremely difficult to spot from a distance. Witnesses also claim the creature can remain motionless for long stretches of time, using silence and positioning to avoid detection. Some theories go further, suggesting Bigfoot actively uses terrain, crouching in tall grass, slipping behind trees, or even moving in rhythm with shifting shadows to disappear without a trace. Whether these are natural survival tactics or something more mysterious, many believe this is why encounters are always so fleeting. So, what do you think? Did this man really capture a glimpse of Bigfoot? Or are we just looking at a trick of the forest?